You've probably seen it, Trump's $2,000 checks. Confirmed. It's all over YouTube right now. Big flashing thumbnails, dramatic headlines, and videos claiming money's already on the way. But here's the truth. None of that has actually happened. So what's really going on with these $2,000 checks? Why is everyone suddenly talking about them again? And what do they not want you to see behind all the hype? Let's break it down calmly, clearly, and with the facts most of those videos left out. The headlines versus reality. When you scroll through YouTube or social media this week, you'll see dozens of thumbnails claiming Trump just approved $2,000 for every American. But if you look closer, none of those videos point to an actual government document, Treasury release, or bill in Congress. Here's what actually happened. President Trump posted on Truth Social saying a dividend of at least $2,000 per person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. He added, "People who are against tariffs are fools." That one post exploded across the internet, and within hours, it turned into a wildfire of exaggerated headlines. But this isn't a sign program or law. It's a statement. And like we've seen before, those words can mean a lot of different things, depending on what happens next. What he actually said. Trump's post framed the payments as a dividend, money supposedly coming from the tariffs his administration placed on imports. He said those tariffs made the U.S. the richest country in the world, and that the government is now strong enough to start paying Americans directly. But officials later clarified there's no formal plan being sent to Congress, no rollout date, and no confirmed funding source. Still, the timing matters. This came while Americans are struggling, SNAP benefits are being cut, a shutdown is dragging on, and people are feeling real pressure. And that's why this post landed the way it did, as if help might finally be on the way. But the truth behind it is more complicated, and the money itself might not even exist the way people think. Where the money would come from. So, where are these tariff revenues Trump keeps talking about? When the U.S. taxes imported goods, cars, electronics, clothes, that money goes straight to the federal government. Trump says tariffs are bringing in trillions. But according to the Treasury Department, they've collected about $195 billion so far this year. Here's the problem. If everyone earning under $100,000 got $2,000, that's roughly $300 billion, already more than the total collected. And if kids or dependents were included, that could jump to $500 billion or more. So even if these tariff revenues sound like free money coming in, they're really not. Because when the government charges those import taxes, companies don't just absorb the cost, they pass it down to consumers. That means the same people who might get these $2,000 checks have already been paying for them through higher prices at the store. Every time you buy groceries, fill up your gas tank, or replace an appliance, part of that cost already includes those tariffs. And depending on how much prices have gone up, it's possible many Americans have already paid more through inflation than what they'd ever get back from a $2,000 check. So even if this idea sounds like new money, it might just be a refund of what people have already lost to rising prices. And that brings up the next big question no one in those viral videos is explaining. Even if there's some money there, is it even legal for the president to use it this way? The legal catch. Right now, the Supreme Court is reviewing that very issue. A lower court ruled that Trump overstepped his authority when he expanded tariffs using emergency powers. The case centers around a law called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEPA, a law meant to let presidents act fast during national emergencies. But critics argue tariffs aren't an emergency at all. They say using that law for trade goes beyond what Congress intended, effectively giving one person power over the entire U.S. tariff system. If the justices agree, the entire structure could be struck down, meaning no more tariffs, no revenue, and no $2,000 checks. And that's not just a political fight. If the court rules against Trump, the government might even have to refund billions already collected under those tariffs or rewrite trade laws from the ground up. But even if the court sides with Trump, there's another twist: inflation. When companies pay more on imports, they don't absorb the cost, they pass it to consumers. So Americans have already been paying part of these tariffs every time they shop for groceries, fill up their car, or buy electronics. In other words, those $2,000 dividends wouldn't be free money. They'd just be a refund of what you've already paid. And that raises the question, if the math doesn't add up and the legality is shaky, then why is this idea still everywhere? Why everyone's talking about it? Because it taps into what people are feeling: frustration, exhaustion, and the hope that maybe, just maybe, someone in Washington is finally listening. And to be fair, this isn't new. Trump has floated similar ideas before: smaller rebate checks, dividends, and no tax on tips. But this time, the message hit during a shutdown, a cost of living crisis, and a Supreme Court showdown. The perfect storm for it to go viral. And once it hit YouTube, it snowballed fast. Some creators took a single post and built entire videos around it, adding fake screenshots, countdown timers, and news graphics that made it look official. It's believable because it feels urgent. It mixes real quotes with dramatic music and thumbnails that scream confirmed. That's how misinformation spreads. It looks professional, it sounds good, and it hits at the exact time people are desperate for good news. And once those videos take off, they start to shape public opinion, even if the facts behind them haven't caught up yet. Just pausing for a moment to share something that could really help you or someone you care about. If you're 65 or older, or helping someone who is, you probably know how overwhelming Medicare can feel. The mailers, the endless calls, all claiming they have the best plan. It's exhausting. When my team and I were looking into this, we came across Chapter, and what stood out wasn't just that they compare all 24,000 plus plans. It was their story. The founders built Chapter after their own parents got stuck in the wrong Medicare plans, and they realized just how many people were being misled or pressured into making choices that weren't right for them. That's what makes Chapter different. Their advisors aren't paid to push one plan over another. They're salaried, independent, and genuinely there to help you. You'll speak with a real person who takes the time to understand your doctors, prescriptions, and preferences and helps you make a decision you feel good about. And the call is totally free. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest support. If you're already in the right plan, they'll tell you. And if not, they'll help you find one that better fits your needs. If you want to talk to someone today, give Chapter a call at 615-639-1937 or visit askchapter.org/money. Again, that's 615-639-1937. It's free, and it might save you a lot of stress. All right, now let's get back to it. What you can take away. Here's the bottom line. No, there's no approved $2,000 check on the way right now. Yes, the president did say it, but the money, the math, and the law behind it are all still uncertain. What you can take away is how powerful these kinds of headlines are. They spread faster than truth, and they play on real fear and hope, especially when people are struggling. And this won't be the last time you see it. Every time there's economic stress, Social Security concerns, inflation spikes, or new spending bills, there will always be headlines claiming checks are coming. That's why it's more important than ever to pause, verify, and understand what's actually happening before sharing or believing the next big promise. So what do you think? If the government ever did send out $2,000 checks from tariffs, would that really help the average American, or just recycle money we've already lost to higher prices?